So hello. My name is Clayton Flesher, and this is the Code Newbies Book Club group. We're starting our first part of Practical Vim, which I guess that's probably backwards for you guys.
Yeah.
Can you introduce yourself, Joseph?
Okay. Yeah, my name is Joseph Rex, and I've been using Vim for about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a professional, but I use it in little ways I can.
Yeah, I've been using it for I'm coming up on 2 years. It's the only text editor I've ever used as far as like to write code. And I would not say I'm great at them. I would say I'm capable in them because I just kind of had to be.
Well, so you don't use any graphical editors?
No, Vim's is all I use. I don't use Sublime Code or any of that stuff. It's all terminal Vim. So just like basic standard Vim from a terminal on Linux. So I have some plugins I use, and we could probably talk about those. But
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so let's talk about like Joseph. You said I think I'm the one of us who's had a chance to actually get current. You said you just picked up the book?
Yeah, I just got a PDF. I don't have a physical copy. Yeah.
Does it have the links in it? Because I know he has a lot of. I think he has some use. Maybe it's a different book that had some useful links in the PDF. And I actually have the paperback copy, so I'm missing out on those. I think some of his code examples have links.
Oh yeah. You mean the link to the PDF I got, right?
Sure. Yeah. Did you find the PDF online?
Yeah, it's on the GitHub page.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, so I'll give a quick rundown of like the part of the book that I read for this. So I read chapters 1 through 5, which is basically the introduction and the first like section of the book, which is on the 4 main modes in Vim. So for people who are new to Vim, Vim has 4 modes. It's not like so if you're like in like WordPress or some other normal text editor, you're always in insert mode for Vim, which is it's just like you just start typing and stuff shows up on the screen. That is insert mode for Vim. Vim is normally when you start in a Vim terminal, you're in normal mode, which is like navigation and command mode. And so he talks about the first chapter was on the dot command, which is like just the period and how powerful it is because it repeats your last action. So like he gives some really good examples, and I can show them off if you want me to. Like he had 1 or 2 in here in just the first chapter that I didn't even know about.
Okay.
So let's see. What is an example he gave of how powerful the dot command is? Sorry, I hate coming through the book like this.
Okay, yeah, that's no problem.
So let's say you are like, I'm going to share my screen real quick so you can see some code example. Here we go. Share this. So you see in my terminal now?
Yeah, yes, I can.
Okay, so let's say that I want to delete the word Bob here, and I'm like over the last B. You can do DA W and it'll delete that word. And then if I decide I want to delete like the next word, I just hit the dot command and it does the same command again. And one of the things he emphasizes in the book is how powerful, because of that, then I can do, so let's say, find mark. And then that takes me to remark. And if I just hit dot command again, it deletes remark. And if I do, if I repeat the last search, let's see, repeat the last search. So mark. No. Anyway, I'm messing it up. But yeah, one of the things he says is like what you want to do ideally is one motion with one key and then one motion, one command, and then that lets you do things with a dot command where you can do one motion and then period, one motion and then period, one motion and then period. And that lets you get super powerful with taking out, like by repeating the same action 2 or 3 times, it really makes you powerful really quickly. And he gives a whole bunch of examples of changes you can make or ways you can like delete a line. If you want to delete a whole line, you can just hit DD, and then if you like do like 5 down and then hit period, it does the same thing again.
Well, right. That's interesting. Well, so we could say the dot command just clones the previous action.
Yeah, it just does whatever your previous non-motion action was from normal mode. And but the reason he dedicates a whole chapter to it is because if you take advantage of it, you can really do some powerful things. Like let's say I'm going to hover over this word text and hit the star key. Let's see what that. I should have highlighted all my. It may be because my Vim plugins don't have it. Don't let me highlight it. But yeah, here we go. If I hit the star key, it takes me through each one of my whatever word I'm hovering over. So if I'm hovered over a remark and I hit the star key, it takes me to the next remark. And I could just tab through the remarks like that. And so if I do like delete word and then star key, or like I do assert equal and then cut word, hello, and then exit out. I don't know. Anyway, I suck at Vim right now. I'm trying to get better, but yeah, the star key lets you repeat your last one, and then so go ahead. So chapter 2 was normal mode, which is the standard mode that you do navigation in. So like right now, if I'm just moving around the screen from the home row, which is like if I hit K and I move up and I hit J and move down and I hit GG to go to the top and Shift G to go to the bottom, all that normal stuff that you do in Vim, that's all in normal mode.
Yeah.
And then some of the things he talks about you being able to do in normal mode, of course, you can like delete whole lines. You can delete backwards. So if you hit DB, it'll delete from the end of a word to the beginning, which I actually didn't know. So if I go to the end of this word, hit DB, it'll delete to the beginning of that word. And if you do like D word, it'll delete to the beginning of the next word. And if you do like D down, it'll delete that line and the line below it. And then DD just deletes the line it's on. That's all normal, like everyday use of them. But then one I didn't know about was the delete DAW. So if like let's say I'm at the end of this word and I want to delete the whole thing, I just hit DAW and it deletes up to that whole word up to the next one. So it captures the space after it too.
Okay. Your command entries aren't displaying.
They aren't displayed?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's better.
I don't know how to make it where like the keys that I'm typing in show up somewhere on the screen. I'm not sure how to do that.
Yeah. Hey, I think it's better now though.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. He talks about, of course, he talks about like yanking. So like if you want to like copy, like let's say I go up to the beginning of the document, just hit GG. And if I get yank shift G, that copies the entire contents of the document. And then if I hit P, it just pastes the entire document to the line below. So now the entire document is nested between the first line and the second line of the previous one. And I'll undo that to undo the whole thing. But if I want to yank, for example, if I want to yank line, the next 3 lines down to copy that method and then just paste it, I can do it like that.
So, yeah. So yanking is the copy word for Vim.
Yes, yank, yeah. And it's Y to yank. And if you hit just YY, it'll yank the line you're on. If you're over a word and you want to switch the case on it, you can do like G and the squiggly tilde next to the 1, and that'll switch the case of the word. So let's see, G, does that not work? Let's try this, G shift U. Huh, maybe I have that turned off in my version of Vim. That's another thing is your version of Vim matters. So like if you have certain words, if you have plugins that turn things off or you have things shifted, it can be a problem. But if I want to, let's say I want to shift, shifts that to the right. If I do shift and then right bracket, you can shift that stuff out. If I want to auto indent, like let's say I have it shifted over and I want to hit auto indent, I just hit equals, equal, and it put it back where I want it. That's assuming that your version of Vim knows about your language, which it should.
Yeah, that's the way it works in Sublime. That's how I adjust my indents. But I have this problem when I'm in Vim. It's when I tab, it goes 4 lines, and usually I want 2 lines.
So
yeah,
you can fix that in. So if you want like just 2 spaces, I'm going to show you my Vim RC, which is how you configure a Vim. And I have set soft tab, stop equals 2, and then shift width equals 2, and set expand tab. And if you do those 3, it'll, when you do tabbing in insert mode, for example, like if I hit tab, it just goes over 2 spaces. and it inserts spaces. It doesn't insert tabs. If you actually like show the Unicode characters, it'll be just 2 spaces. It won't be 2. It won't show a tab.
Okay. Well, you could paste your vimlc file later.
Yes, I'll post that in.
Okay.
I'll post that in the chat. And then I also use, if you notice there, it says execute pathogen infect. I use, this is super common among Vim. There's something called pathogen for adding Vim plugins. And I can remember. Where it's at. Bundle, here it is. So it's under .vim/bundle. That then all of the plugins that I have. This is all the plugins that I have. So I have Vim Rails, Vim Ruby, Vim Elixir, Nerd Tree, which I don't use. Control P Vim, which I do use. Control P Vim lets you hit Control P and start typing, and it'll do fuzzy search on files and let you jump from one file to another in Vim without exiting Vim.
Well, can't you just do the open command for that?
Yes, but it gives you a really nice fuzzy search. And it's just a quick Control P. Or like if I'm in, okay. But I think it searches from project directory. I can't remember.
Okay. I've never had to install plugins, but looking at Vim Ruby, I'm trying to guess what it does exactly, because Vim gives me syntax alighting for Ruby already just by having syntax alighting on in my vimlc file. So what does the plugin do?
Well, let's look real quick. Vim Ruby plugin. I don't even remember now because it's been so long since I've used it. Oh, it lets you do Ruby compiling from inside Vim, for one thing. So you can run Ruby from inside Vim. And
okay, yeah. Like, and actually see the results of things you're working on without coming out of Vim.
Yeah, you can do that in, you can run, you could actually run Ruby commands without Vim Ruby. I think you need like a bang, like Ruby bang, and then I don't know, I'd have to look. It's actually one of the things he talks about in the book, in the command line chapter.
Okay.
Let's see if there's any. Vim Ruby, let's see, also it provides useful things like easy navigation and syntax highlighting in Ruby. And here there's some of the navigation methods it gives you. So that goes to methods. So you can go to the start of the next method definition, to the end of the next method definition, and so that's super useful.
Wow, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sharing. I'm not sharing my. Hang on. Stop presenting and present to the right screen. There we go. There we go. Yeah. So one of the things Vim Ruby lets you do is it lets you jump from method to method instead of like having to count the lines or do a search for the next method. It lets you jump between them with that bracket M, and to do the end of one with a bracket uppercase M, and you can do backward search the same way. So that's one of the things it lets you do. So let's see how that would work. To be honest with you, I've never actually used that. So, yeah, it works.
Right. That's an interesting feature. I mean, you don't even get that with visual editors.
Yeah. Let's see. So anyway, it talks about Normogode, which is navigation. It talks some about insert mode. Some of the things I learned about insert mode are you can do math from insert mode. So if you have like, let's say I've got this line. Let's say I've got this line. Can you see my, I got the line 6 chairs, each costing $35, totals, and then I have a dollar amount. I can do from insert mode, I guess I can do, or no, actually not from insert mode. Let's assume I'm just in normal mode and I'm like over here. I can do Shift A, which takes me to the end of the line. Then I can do Control R, 6 times 35, enter. Let's see what that does. Shit, it didn't do anything. Of course, it always messes up the first time you try to use it.
Yeah.
Let's try it again. Shift A, 6, 35, enter. Oh. Try it from inside insert mode. Shift A. Control R, equals, here we go, equals 6 times 35, enter. Hey, it did it. There we go. I was just forgetting the equals.
Oh.
So it did the math with 6 chairs, each costing 35. So I could do, so if I delete that, if I just, like, let's say I'm at the beginning of the line and I hit Shift A, that dumps me into insert mode at the end of the line. And then I hit Control R equals 6 star 35, enter, and it does the math.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, so this is all to Vim Ruby.
This is all what?
This is on the Vim Ruby. This is being done by the Vim Ruby plugin.
Yeah, no, this is being done by just Vim. This is standard Vim. This is the math part of this is not Vim Ruby stuff. This is in insert mode. Every Vim version has this. If you're in insert mode and you, like, I can do it from any line. It doesn't have to be that line. So if I'm in insert mode, which I am right now, I'm in insert mode, and I hit Control R equal, and let's say 1,000 divided by 100, enter, and it'll give me, I hit 100 divided by 100, but I do Control R equal 1,000 divided by 100, and that should give me 10. And it spits out 10 on that line.
So common aspects like this can be found on the Vim tutor. Did you go to the Vim tutor before practical Vim?
I did. I went through the Vim tutor, and I also went through Vim Adventures. I went through a good portion of it. I didn't actually finish it. But yeah, so Vim tutor has a lot of that stuff. The problem is if you don't use it regularly, you forget about some of it, like the math portion of it. I just forgot about, and because I don't ever use it much, or I had never used it when I was getting started. I did Vim tutor like at the very beginning when I was first learning coding and everything else, and so I'd forgotten more than I ever, I'd forgotten more of it than anything. And you can do hexadecimal insertions. You can do from the insert modes. You can do insert character or you can do like Unicode stuff from insert mode with control. I think it's Control K. I don't remember, but and then there's also replace mode in Vim, which is part of insert mode. If you hit I think what is it in Vim? I don't remember what replace mode is. I have to go look. And then visual mode, which is like so chapter 4 was visual mode, and it was all about like highlighting sections of text. So let's go back to where I was here. If I want to highlight by the line, I can hit Shift V and it'll highlight that line, and then any other line that I want to scroll down. If I want to highlight just my character, I can hit just V, highlight by character. Or if I want to highlight my blocks, I can hit Control V and do this. So like, let's say I wanted to change all those D's and E's to, I don't know, let's replace them with their uppercase, replace them with ones. You just hit R1 and it'll replace everything that's highlighted with a 1. So I know anybody who's been using Vim for a year already knows all of those stuff. For people who are new to Vim, that's a super useful tool. Like I know sometimes people forget how to do blocks of, if I do cut there and then hit hello, it'll insert hello on every one of those lines. So that's all normal everyday Vim stuff. Let's see. Yeah, and you can use block mode to change columns of text. So like if I have here where I have, say I have Bob says hello, yank, paste, 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 paste. Oops. Bob says hello, yank, paste, 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 paste. And I want to just change the says, Control V, pets, inks, and there you go. Standard Control V stuff.
I was never aware we could do really awesome stuff in Vim this way. You know, that's why I'd always been just satisfied with Sublime Text.
Yeah. Oh, and so the last of the chapters that are in part one is the command line mode, which lets you do things like, let's say I want to, let's see, what line is this? 25 through 28. Let's say I want to move lines 25 through 28 to the beginning. I can do 20. I can move into command line mode, hit 25, comma 28, and then move, and then let's move it to the very top of the file. That moves it to the very top of the file, and then now there it is, the top of the file. So you can use that to pick sections of code. Or if I want to do like, let's undo that, and let's go into let's do this. Let's do visual align mode, where I highlight an entire block here, and I can do, if I go into command mode, whenever I do that, it automatically shows there at the bottom of my screen that the part that it's going to move is what I have highlighted. And if I want to move that, let's say plus 10 lines, that work? Oh, move lines into themselves. That will not work. So let's try that. Let's see. So I'm still learning this stuff too. Like I just read this chapter today. So Shift V, let's highlight all of this, and let's just do move Shift G. That work? No, it's the, how do you move it to the end? See, I'm learning here. That moves it to the start of the file. I don't know, I can't remember. It's in here. But the book has it. The nice thing about it is the book's really good for referencing that kind of stuff. Just knowing that you can do that, where you can say like, I want to highlight this chunk of text and I want to move it, or even if you just want to delete that chunk of text. So like if I go into command mode and just hit delete, and that chunk of text is now gone. And you can do their shortcuts for move and delete and all that stuff. So the shortcuts, so when I actually typed in the full word move, that you can use, some of the shortcuts are, for copy, it's T. So let's say I want to copy this method. T. Oh, that's an invalid address, so I can't copy that. Let's do Control T. Yeah, that copied it, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm learning.
Yeah.
Just learning, just knowing you have the ability to do these things, then you can go back and look at the documentation and how to do them. You can also run shell commands. So I can run the ls for the directory I'm in by bang ls inside of the command line. That gives me my shell. And then if I hit enter, it takes me right back into Vim. So it actually runs the ls command from the shell. And so I can actually do, like, let's say I want to run this code. I can do bang Ruby, and that means this file, and run it.
Yeah.
And it runs the test shows me the output, and then I just hit enter to go right back into the file.
Yeah, I was just gonna think, do you have to specify the file name again? So.
No, yeah, you don't, because you can specify. So also, if you want to do this, if you hit colon to go into command line mode and just type shell, it takes you into a shell where you can do normal stuff. But then when you exit out of that shell, so I can hit ls, and I can navigate around and all that stuff. But when you exit out of that shell, it'll take you back to the Vim file that you were in. So that's super useful. I didn't know any of that stuff, the shell thing. So now I can navigate, do what I need to do, ls, la, and then when I'm done, it takes me right back to my Vim. The running the test thing though, being able to hit bang Ruby this and run the test suite and then just hit enter to go right back in, that's super awesome.
Yeah, I've found myself having to need it a lot.
You can also write and to a file from, so you can write the contents of the file you're in to another file from the shell command. You can read a file. You can write the range. You can take the range of the file. You can take a range from the file you're in. Like, let's say I want to, let's do this. Let's exit out for a second, and then I'm going to create a CD Bob. I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna create a new file called hello.txt. And then I'm gonna go into my Bob test file, and let's say I am in control, let's see, Shift V. I want to put this group of methods in there. Let's see if this will work. So that gives me a range. And then I can type in write, stat, execute command in the shell with range lines as standard input. Let's see if that'll work.
Hello.
Right.
Hello.txt.
What was it? Hello.
Hello.txt.
Hello.txt. Let's see if that will write to that.
Could you use tab completion?
I tried. Let's see. What if I can? Oh, you know what? I can't. I know what I can do. Oh, I don't. If I knew Bash better, I could type the contents of this into that. But I don't remember my Bash commands to do that. That's the next thing I got to learn. But this lets you do things like if you want to highlight a group of methods, you can hit like Shift V, highlight those methods, go into that. That gives you that stuff, and then you can go space, bang, and what that'll do is it'll pipe the contents of those methods into something. So if I want to do ag and that, it will pipe the contents of that. Let's see, shall return 19 lines filtered. And those are the lines that it. So then I was able to get the contents of ag piped into my. Code. But yeah, shell's cool. I'll use that a lot. the fact that you can just go into a shell prompt from them was not something I was previously aware of. And you can, that actually will put them in the background. So if you go shell and you run jobs, it doesn't work for me. I wonder why it doesn't work. You know, so for him, if he runs jobs, it spits out that Vim is running. Vim is one of the things that's stopped. But for me, it doesn't do that. But I can exit out. So I think that's it for tonight. This was just kind of an introduction to the 4 different Vim formats, which are, or four modes in the dot command. The 4 modes are normal mode, insert mode, visual mode, and then of course command mode. And some of the like different nice powerful things you can do with them. I will definitely get a lot of use out of command mode. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and kill the root or kill the recording now, if that's okay.
Okay. So today we could say we covered the part 1 of the book, mostly having to do with modes.
Yeah.
Little about files, but not really much about files. So hopefully I'll be able to come up to speed with most of this, and in the next session we'll be having, I could move along with you talking about files and getting around faster.
Yeah, and I will post my VimRC in the chat channel as a snippet so that you can look at it and see if there's anything in there that you want and kind of get an idea of what my VimRC does. Because after using this book, there's actually some things I'm going to change, probably, but yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay then.
You have a good night, man. I'm going to go ahead and kill the broadcast.
Yeah, thanks very much
for
this. Yeah, take care.
Bye.